Hey everyone, this is James Gabsy from Digital Sky. We're about to have Zeno Robinson pop in on an Instagram Live. Make sure that you have lots of questions, lots of comments. You know, Zeno is an amazing actor. You'll recognize him from Young Justice, where he was Cyborg. You'll see him from, where he was Hawks on My Hero Academia. This is someone who's absolutely amazing. This may be him right now. Let's see if we can connect one, the only, any second. We're waiting to connect, and it's coming. Get those questions. There he is, Zeno Robinson. How
Hello,
are you,
I'm
sir?
good. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
doing
having
this.
me.
I'm a huge fan
And
of
I
yours, by
you.
the way, so it's always a thrill. Thanks, man. Thank you. So many questions I got to ask. First of all, how are you dealing with all of the Corona craziness?
I'm dealing. I'm very blessed to be in a position where I can still work. As you as you know, I the booth is behind me that I've kind of assembled, and I can still audition and I can still work. A lot of the voiceover industry has moved to at-home remote recordings, which both like still allow us to work, fortunately, but also kind of open up a lot of floodgates for opportunities. Kind of opportunities based on location kind of sort of don't matter now because everything is remote. So you can work for a client in New York, or you can work for a client, in another country if that it comes to it. So
Well, let's talk about that for a quick second. We were, with the Digital Sky team, listen, we were fortunate to be able to have you on, App to the Future. By the way, that episode has been so well received.
I'm
It's
glad.
crazy.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
yeah, everyone knows you as, this amazing actor. And in this episode, you got to actually be
Yeah,
the narrator because the amazing Anna Brisbane was, playing two roles
he
within the
was.
episode. How did you feel being the narrator? What was your approach? I happened to be, on that session with you, so I was
Yeah.
really impressed. What was going through your mind as you were doing it?
Mostly it was just about like, oh, because Scott, the director, the creator, he was like he wanted it to be uh very like he wanted the narrator to really paint the picture. I didn't know if he wanted me to like put on like a narrative voice, so I kind of didn't do it. And I've the Digital Sky episodes that I've listened to, that I don't think Anna, because she's usually the narrator, really does anything to, you know, um, anything to like outside of, I guess, her regular voice. So I didn't want to. I wanted to keep with that kind of consistency, and just really make sure that you heard everything. Like I really wanted to paint a picture. So that was kind of my thoughts going into it. Was like, oh well, unless they ask me to like put on a narrator voice or something like that, I won't do it. I'll just be me. If with just a little more gravitas, just a little more presence, so that everybody can understand that I'm the narrator. I'm painting the picture for you. I really like saying picture in your mind. That was really cool. That was fun.
I you were amazing. I actually spoke with Scott Zacharin, the writer and creator of Digital Sky. We both agreed you nailed it, like absolutely nailed it. And what impressed me so much is that I got to see you as a
Yeah.
performer, right? And did you feel there's a big difference between, you performed well as a narrator, you performed well as an actor. What was the difference between the
I
two?
think the difference is the way you're telling a story, because both versions are like a story, are like storytelling. But I think like for narration, because I've done a couple audiobooks, so I know a little bit about like narrating. Um and It's just it's a different way of bringing to life the story. Like there's a specific way you have to say things. You can't really say it the same way you would do like dialogue, because you're kind of not playing off of anybody, you're presenting to people. So it's kind of two different ways of trying to have an effect on the other person, you know which is like the key of acting.
I
Like it's all about the other person, it's all about them. So instead of making it maybe about one or two people, I have to make it about everyone, the unseen audience. So
Is this something you'd like to do more of? Just as pure narration? Does this fall under the Zeno Robinson? You'd be open to it professionally.
I would be, but not as much as I would be into dialogue. I just really like character work. I really enjoy acting, like a dialogue off of other people. And so part of me feels like that unless I fake it, like like there's probably some really deep barrel-chested dude with a great voice that it's like, wow, I could listen to that guy read his laundry list, but I do enjoy narration. I do enjoy like getting to do audiobooks when I do it, and I love doing audiobooks even though they're a lot of work. But yeah, I think I like dialogue just a little bit more. Yeah.
That's actually a fair statement. You did an episode of Who Would Win, our podcast, and I got to tell you, the fans loved it. Not just because, again, we had someone who they loved hearing on, Young Justice and, My Hero Academia, what have you, but it was because you took the, the battle we did. It was The Expanse versus, what was it? The Expanse versus Apex Legends. Was fun. And one fan came back and said, Zeno was great. Are you sure he's not an attorney? And if he is, can I hire him?
You know what is funny about that is growing up, I was big on debating. Like I was big on arguing with people. Like I was always arguing with like my teachers. My mom remembers it very, very fondly, like, or maybe not so fondly because I was giving her a hard time. But like I was always like, I guess sort of combative with like logically with like all of my teachers, and like my teachers like, I can't believe like I'm arguing with a 5-year-old, so like like before I discovered that I wanted to be an actor, I didn't want to be a lawyer. It was something I thought about, which I'm glad I did because I was in a lot of school. But I did.
I think the world's better off with. Listen, you were a great attorney, no doubt, but I think the world's better off with where you are. That's just a personal thing. During the episode, I asked you a question too, and I think the fans love to hear it. You did such a great job with Cyborg, one of my personal favorite characters. And I said, what are your top 3? If you could pick your top 3 characters, that superhero characters or characters within geek culture, right? We can go to anime too, right? I'm going to ask, what would be the top 3?
Top 3 characters. Static. Static Shock. I really, really like. If anybody's ever watched the anime Re:Zero, I really, really like the character Natsuki Subaru. He's like the main dude. Because I watched a lot of anime, and he was like the most, I think, like human character. Like the most, like he had the most, I think, dimensions out of like any anime character I've ever encountered. And it really isn't, because there's so many, There's so.
Can I make, if I may, after we did our episode and after we did, the recording session with Digital Sky, there's one character, you might laugh at this, and I think you'd be perfect. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Okay, here we go. Can you do Thor?
Thor? Like Chris Hemsworth Thor, or like Travis Willingham Avengers Thor? Or like just Thor?
I wanted Zeno Robinson Thor, like probably Thor? The best Thor you've ever.
Wait, does Thor have a catchphrase? Does Thor have a catchphrase? No.
Forsooth.
Forsooth.
Some Shakespearean sounding thing.
Forsooth, bring me the head of Thanos. I don't know. He'd be something like that.
And I was right, by the way.
Another barkeep. Like very, very here in the barrel-chested, but very good. This was an excellent jaunt we all had.
See?
Yeah.
This works. This works.
Yeah.
So what do you have? Like, you've got this really big body of work, a lot of accomplishments already within your career. What are we going to be looking forward to? What can we see from you in the near future?
You can see Pokemon Journeys is coming to Netflix on June 12th. The new season of Pokemon. So I am the voice of Go in Pokemon Journeys. So go check it out if you Pokemon.
Oh, very cool.
Or if you have kids who are fans of Pokemon, or if you have kids, period.
Absolutely,
they should be fans of Pokemon.
I've got kids who will be so into this. I have a couple of questions from the chat room, if I may. From Kyle.
Kyle,
He's
hello.
asking kind of something similar. In a Marvel movie, what character would you want to bring to the screen?
Miles Morales. Very easy question for me. Miles is my favorite Marvel character. I probably am too old to play Miles, but if like any realm of possibility, that would be my choice.
Well, you've already been Miles Morales, right?
I was
You did
stacked in that death battle. Yeah.
Oh, so you're. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? I can't.
No, it's okay.
That's horrible.
They're both very similar. They're both very similar characters. So and they're compared a lot. But yeah. So that.
Okay, cool. One more question, if I may. Eric says, "How is the recording process different?" I already said this one for being a character was near. Let's ask another one from Lily. Other than Digital Sky, what's your other than I'd say App to the Future? What's your favorite episode
Digital
of Digital Sky? Because you did more than one.
Excuse me.
You did more than one. You
Super
heard
App.
all the
Super App was really fun. There was one you guys did about video games. I can't remember the name of it. Was it the one that Space Agent. Yeah.
Why is that your favorite?
I just like video games. So I'm big in a gaming culture. So yeah.
Very cool. We got another one, Caleb. You got a lot of fans from Digital Sky, by the way. And Caleb's asking, would you want to return to Digital Sky as another character?
Of course. Definitely. If there's like, if Scott writes something that is up my alley or that he wants me for, or yep, gotcha.
Yeah, can you see me now? All right.
Yeah, but like, yeah,
perfect. Let me ask you about Digital Sky.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me ask you about Digital Sky. What is it about Digital Sky that we've talked about, there's a lot of podcasts out there, there's a lot of scripted stuff out there. Mm-hmm. What is it about Digital Sky that was really special and really different? I'm just going to put it out there. Why do you think, first of all, our followers need to follow Zeno Robinson wherever you are. Why should your followers come over to Digital Sky, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube? Why do you think this would be a good thing for people to watch and check out?
I think because there are like a lot of scripted podcasts out there, but a lot of them like follow very either like separated things or very like linear things. I think Digital Sky tries to mix the both of them with a very interesting kind of like, what if Black Mirror and Twilight Zone were like a thing, but pertaining to today's time and sci-fi at the same time. So it like mixes a lot of elements of what people like about, what's on their televisions, right? What's on Netflix and what's on, and brings it to you in a very like entertaining package in a podcast. So that's what I think kind of makes it special, and the passion behind it. Like, Scott, he's always like up and writing scripts, to like till the last, very last, because every detail has to be, for him like very specific or have to have some kind of meaning. You know what I mean? And it's always it's always inspired from something in his life, and I think the best stuff comes from what's real, what's real in you. So
I've got a question for you. You're a great actor. Are you also a great writer? Are you someone who wants to produce and direct? Where do we see you, growing into?
Yeah, I do love writing. I have written something that people should see hopefully soon. I don't know if I can talk about it. But I do dip my toe into creating and producing, and I definitely want to do much more of it. I love telling stories. I think I have a lot to say. Just writing is hard, as I'm sure you guys know. So, but I definitely do want to do more of that. I definitely want to create more and tell stories and bring those stories to life and to people.
You know what? I'm getting bombarded in a good way
Oh,
with
good.
questions from
I'm
the
glad.
chat. So Lily has another one, and she said you do so many different types of performance. She says, "What do you enjoy most about voice acting?"
Is the freedom in it? Like you can play anybody you want. If it's within your wheelhouse, if it's within your range, you're not limited by this, which a lot of voice actors say, and there's a lot of other like things that play into that. But the thing I like mainly about it is you can kind of play whoever you want. Like I play an 11-year-old on Big City Greens, and he's this like adorable little kid. I'd never be able to do that, on camera. So
That'd be a
yeah.
little awkward, sure.
But that's kind of what I like the most about it is, yeah, it's fun. It's just really fun.
So I have a question for you from your character on that you played in that episode. You played the Zipper, right? With
Yeah,
Super.
yeah.
Well, first of all, would you ever be up for playing that role again? And secondly, would you ever do that role in a live action version of Digital Sky?
Heck yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured the answer would be yes. I'm kind of planting some seeds here. You never know. You never know what's going on.
Did we just get an exclusive? What's going on?
I don't know. Cool. Now, another question from the chat. Again, I've got to calm them down, but this is cool. Kyle's asking if you could co-star with a celebrity, or another actor from Digital Sky, who would it be? Like, what celebrity would you pick? Is there something like, if you could pick the project, who would that celebrity be that you would do it with? Let's go with any celebrity.
Yeah, like I definitely, if I could pick any of them, I don't know. I don't know if I could even focus on the work if I decided to do that. But yeah, like he's just somebody I'd love to work alongside. I feel like I learned so much just like by being in his presence, So yeah.
That's a good one. That's good. And is there anyone from Digital Sky that you like to work with again? People that that were in your episode of Super App or App to the Future.
I'm trying to remember like everybody who's done an episode. I'm trying to remember if there's like anybody in another episode that I would want to work with, or I'm trying to remember.
No, there's been a lot. Okay, let me re-ask that question. Who would be your dream co-star? Not necessarily someone you could learn from, but who would you want to do a project with?
In Digital Sky,
or just in general?
Probably like I'm trying to think like who. I think there's somebody in there in my brain it's not connecting right now, but like. Maybe like one of my friends. Like I have a friend named Kiera, and she's getting into voice acting, and I think it would be cool just to be in the episode Digital Sky with her. Like it's two friends in the same episode, playing off of each other. I'm very excited about the prospect of working with friends, but I also know like sometimes I can get like a little weird.
Maybe. I'm not saying I know that for a fact, but yeah, maybe. That's cool. And now I knew this question was going to come. Caleb is asking, what advice would you give to voice actors in training?
Keep doing it, keep acting, and don't forget like why you started, and don't forget why you love it or why why it's fun. Like don't forget to have fun. Sometimes you get caught up in wanting to be this or play this and it happens to me too. I get caught up in like wanting a thing. But sometimes in getting caught up in that, I forget why I started acting in the first place. So just keep doing it, keep taking classes, keep practicing, and you'll get where you want to go. I promise.
That's important because I think a lot of people don't realize you've had quite the journey to get to where you are right now. It wasn't like an instant thing. You were telling me, and it really registered how hard you had to work, the preservation, the grit you had to have. Can you talk to that a little bit? Because I talked to a lot of actors who are like, moving out to LA. I gave it my 1-year shot and it didn't work out. You know what I'm talking about, right? Can you talk to that a little bit?
I did the 1-year thing, right? Like I was in college and I got a degree in something I didn't study for. And I was like, I'm not going back. Like I'm going to take a year and I'm gonna and if you know, I'm gonna take my year and pursue acting. And then that didn't work, you know, so then I had to get a job. So the whole thing is like, it took me a very long time to start actually like getting work. Well, actually not really. It took me a long time to start getting consistent work. Like I started, and then I was in Ben 10, and then I was in a dub of this movie called City of God, and then after that I didn't do anything. Salvin, bro. And after that I didn't work for a very long time, like 7 years. And then, like in those 7 years, that was like 7 years of like going back to classes, going through school, graduating high school, like taking more classes, going to work, practicing and auditioning and not getting it, auditioning, getting a callback, getting close, not getting it, auditioning, going on a veil, you're almost got the role, and then they give it to somebody else. Like a lot of that for years and years and years, like years of like being like I quit, and years of being like psych, I don't quit. So it took a very, very long time before I started refining my work ethic and realizing what works and what didn't, and connecting back to why I started. And there was something about that hunger in those years that I think really, really kept me going. Like that hunger, every time I saw like another actor doing something, be like, okay, I gotta get back into classes. I gotta focus. So, yeah.
Is there a class that you would recommend?
For voice acting specifically, everybody recommends it, but for a very good reason, Charlie Adler. I think Charlie Adler because I started when I was young, so I started with Tony Gonzalez. Those are mostly for kids. Like if you're like, 10, 11, 12, 14, around that area, Tony's a great place to start. But I started taking Charlie Adler's class a little later in my life, just to, get a different perspective. And the things he says, he has such a love for acting. He makes you, just by hearing him speak, he makes you want to be better. He makes you want to be a better actor. Those are the kinds of teachers that I gravitate to. So I always take his class. I take his class like once a year. Like I have to.
Oh, wow.
Just to get the gears back where they're supposed to be. So Charlie Adler teaches a class out here in LA, and he's great. He's wonderful. If you have the money for it, or save to get the money for it, I was spending my last dollar on it, just to hear him tell me something that I needed to hear, and he's just really good at seeing who you are as an actor, as a performer, as an artist, and being like, I think this is what your problem is. This is what you need to do. And it's not a voice acting class. It's an acting class in the medium of voice acting, which is what that is. So that's why I think he's a great teacher. He's a wonderful teacher. That's Uncle Charlie. And take his class. Everybody in Townsworth, I promise.
What's coming through is not just your passion, but it's kind of like your calculated approach to success, right? Which is really cool. It's obviously you've got talent, and you've got to be prepared at all times for that right opportunity, right? Preparation means opportunity equals like, that whole thing. But what I'm seeing is that you said something really cool. You take the class once a year. It's not like, oh yeah, I got my training, I'm good, but you're taking it once a year.
The learning never stops just because you start working, like just because you start getting work, it doesn't mean you've made it. I think that's the thing that I had to learn the most in this, is like once I started getting jobs, like I think there was a part of me that felt like, oh, I'm good, like I got it. And then like, actors as artists, you can feel when you're not on the ball. You can feel when you're off. And I always go back when I'm feeling like I'm off to like refine and train. And so I'm always, and I think that's just that artist search of always wanting to get better, little by little, however they can. Like, how do I be better? Like, that was good, but how do I do better? How do I top that? And I think like that's kind of also why is like, I just need to be in a class. Like I need to be learning. I need to be refining. So.
That's amazing. By the way, before we sign off, everyone is saying Hawks, obviously. Yeah. They're just saying the word Hawks over and over again. I get it. I understand why. Quick question. Should Hawks actually be the #1 hero instead of the #2 right now?
He should be technically, yes, actually he should be. He should be technically, but he doesn't want to be. Like, he never would want to be #1. That's so much responsibility and pressure that he absolutely just does not want. It does not give him time to chill if he's #1 hero. That would mean he has a reputation to maintain. He has to be saving people all the time. You don't want that.
No.
He'd rather just fade into the shadows and observe. So.
Right. I mean, that was the problem with All Might, right? Like, there's a lot of responsibility. There's no
But see,
downtime.
the difference is
if you're
All
number
Might
one.
wanted it. You know what I mean? All Might knew that there needed to be a symbol, and he wanted to step in and become that. He was willing to put in to do all of that. Hawks, I think, not that he's not willing, he doesn't want to. You know, like he thinks he wouldn't be good at it. You know, like even though he'd probably be excellent, but he's like he just knows that's not his place.
See, this is what makes, what we do so awesome. I didn't know I'd be able to have a conversation about the number 1, number 2, number 3 heroes of My Hero Academia today. Like today was already going really, really well, and now it's just
I'm trying to
remember
that. I'm trying to remember if I knew I was Hawks when I sat in and I came in for that episode of Who Would Win that game. You guys were debating
you dropped the hint.
All Might that night before we were.
That's right. That was our first episode, and I'm like, do we or don't? And I thought, you may be a little swayed to one side, but you did great in the episode you came in for Who Would Win. It was fantastic. Listen, thank you so much for your time. Digital Sky as a whole, listen, we're huge fans of you, and we definitely hope we get to work with you in the future. Tell everyone who's on here right now from Digital Sky, how do people find you? Where can they follow you on social media, and where can they consume your amazing stuff?
Yeah, you can follow me here, Childish Game Zeno. I don't know if you see it anywhere, but you can follow me there. I'm on Twitter, also at Childish Game Zeno. I'm a little more active on Twitter because I could just like say things and put it into the void. And yeah, so you can find me if you're looking for anything to consume of mine. Big City Greens is on Disney Channel. I play Remy, Craig the Creek. Big City Greens just got nominated for like 4 Emmys, so we're on top of the world right now.
Oh wow! Congratulations,
yeah, thank you. I sort of Craig the Creek, so I'm very blessed to be a part of 2, to play a small part in 2 Emmy nominated shows. And Pokemon Journeys on the 12th. If you follow me, then you'll know I'm doing a Color World event on the 24th this Sunday. That's it. That's where you can find me.
I think we can also find you on Digital Sky.
You can find me on Digital Sky.
The narrator.
You can find me on Digital Sky.
Right? App to the Future?
And App to the Future. Both app related.
Very
so
cool.
If the title has app in it, I'm in it. So go check it out.
There you go. All right, guys. So thank you again for this. Continue success. Stay healthy and safe through all of this that's going on. And we're definitely going to be talking soon.
Talk soon. I'll be here.
Cool.
All right.
Take care,
guys.
man.
Peace.
See ya.